Alright, what's up YouTube? I have a knife video for you guys today. So today we'll be looking at the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Now for those of you, I'm quite sure most of you are very familiar with this knife. This is a very popular knife, probably one of the best selling knives to come out from Spyderco. Now some quick specs. This is just under 3.5 inches. The blade is just under 3.5 inches with an overall length of about 8.3 inches. Now the blade steel is CPM S30V, as you can see engraved on the handle over there, and it is made in Golden, Colorado, USA earth. Alright, now on this side of the blade you can see two symbols here. One is this E and one is this sort of S. Now this E is the signature for Eric Glasser, and this S here is the signature for Sal Glasser, the founder of Spyderco and the current CEO. Now Eric, of course, is his son, if you did not know that. This is the black DLC coated version of the Paramilitary 2. The standard version comes in a satin finish blade with a black G10 handle. There's also a satin finish blade with a digicam handle, black DLC blade with a black G10 handle, and there's this variation, the black DLC blade with the digicam handle. Now these are the regular version of Paramilitary 2s with the S30V steel. There are also the sprint run Paramilitary 2s with all kinds of steel. I think there's one in S90V, one in CTS XHP, and they have their own different G10 colored handles. So anyway, moving on. So as we move up the blade, we see the compression lock here, which is arguably the trademark of the Paramilitary 2. This is one of the few Spyderco knives that uses this compression lock. It is arguably one of the strongest compression locks, so one of the strongest lock types out there. And here we have the pocket clip. Very simple, very practical bent spring clip held together by 3 screws, and here's the lanyard too. Now this knife is tip up, tip down, and two-way reversible, so you can put your clip at 4 different locations. I prefer to carry it tip up because it's easier to deploy that way. Now a bit of a backstory into this knife. This is the Spyderco Military. Now the Paramilitary 2 is sort of a descendant of the military. Now just sometime before 2004, I think Sal Glasser was asked by I think a writer of Blade magazine, if I'm not mistaken. He was asked what knife would he supply Eric Glasser, his son, if he were to join the military, if he were to go in service in the military. And this was sort of the answer to that question, his response, the Spyderco Military. Now this has a longer blade. This is a 4-inch blade with much more belly than the Paramilitary 2. It's also S30V. And on this side there are no signatures, but this is designed by Sal Glasser, made in Golden, Colorado, USA earth. Also G10 handles, and this uses a liner lock instead of a compression lock. Now after the success of the military, the public sort of wanted a smaller version because the 4-inch blade just wasn't for everyone, and the overall size of this blade I think is about 9 inches. Yep, 9 inches overall, and it was just a bit too cumbersome to be carried around, so people wanted a smaller knife. So the Spyderco Paramilitary 1 was Spyderco's response to that, in keeping with their continuous quality improvement philosophy. But that particular knife, it didn't do so well because well, its dimensions were more or less similar to the Paramilitary 2. It's just that it wasn't too well done. Now here on the Paramilitary 2, you can see that this portion of the blade here, it's sort of flushed with the handle, On the paramilitary one, it sort of stuck out a little bit at like a 90-degree angle here. So once in a while your thumb, finger or whatever could get caught on that protrusion, and it wasn't the most comfortable feeling. Definitely was not the most comfortable feeling to feel. Apart from that, they also carried over the one-sided pocket clip of the military. It looked very similar to this as well, with the triangular 3-point screw insertion here with the hole in the middle, and it of course was just tip down, right side carry only. You could not reverse the pocket clip to left, right, tip up, tip down. No, that was on the paramilitary. So what they've done on the paramilitary 2 is they've sort of improved on the overall layout of the knife by allowing the user to transfer it to 4 different locations: tip down, tip up, right, left, however you want to carry it. So definitely an improvement there. And also the lanyard hole. Now as you can see here, this is the size of the lanyard hole on the military. Now they of course carried this over into the paramilitary 1, and well, it was not everyone's cup of tea, because you could not carry certain sizes, or you could not insert certain sizes of lanyard into that small hole. So what they did on the paramilitary 2 was made the hole bigger. As you can see here, it's easily bigger. Now apart from that, one more thing. On the paramilitary 1, this portion of the handle here was sort of curved backwards a bit more than it is now. So in terms of overall length, the handle was about the same length, but when you grip it like this, because of this excess curvature on the paramilitary 1, your fingers sort of felt compressed, you know, so the ergonomics were not so good on the paramilitary 1. They've definitely fixed it with the paramilitary 2. Now here is how it looks in hand. It's a very comfortable knife to hold in hand. The jimping here is just nice. It's not too aggressive, and at the same time it really anchors your thumb in place. Now here is an index finger choil. I found that the best way to hold this knife using this choil is to choke up your finger here and rest your thumb on the spine of the blade, so for those intricate cutting tasks. This in my opinion is how you're supposed to use this index choil here. This type of grip feels just a bit uncomfortable for me. I prefer this. Now closer look at the knife, you will see from this point of view, you will see 2 pieces of G10 with standoffs here and here in between them, but what you don't really see are stainless steel liners, yes, within the G10. Now a certain portion of the G10 has been milled out so that those liners can be fitted into the G10, so you get the lightness factor of the G10 as well as the durability factor of those stainless steel liners, keeping the weight down at the same time. Now I've had this knife for about 10 months or so. This knife has definitely proven to be a very practical knife, extremely practical. Its size is definitely very compact. It's just nice. It's not it's short enough that it's not you know, I don't always feel it in my pocket, but at the same time it's long enough to be able to use practically. I've cut fruit with this, I've opened up boxes with this, paper and whatnot. It's a very practical knife, very appropriately sized. Now the standard variation, I think you can get them for about $120. This one is closer to about $140. So I'm not exactly sure. I can't exactly give you an exact price on the knife, but that's the range you can expect to pay for this knife. Now overall, you're getting a fair amount of knife, quite a lot actually for the amount you're paying. You're getting very good quality steel, very strong lock. But for those of you who don't know how a compression lock works, basically, okay. Now this knife uses a liner lock. The military uses a liner lock. Basically, how that works is imagine this as the liner lock, this comb lock here. Now, when a liner lock is sort of forced into failure, the lock sort of bends this way. Yeah, the pressure will be exerted on the side and it'll bend this way. Now, when on a compression lock, when you try to sort of close the blade onto the knife, onto itself, you're sort of applying pressure this way, sort of squeezing the lock this way instead of bending it the traditional way. So it's definitely much harder to cause this comb to break if I were to squeeze on it here, than in comparison to just flexing the comb this way. So it flexes very easily. So that's more or less how a compression lock works. So definitely much stronger than a liner lock. Now this is what you get when you purchase a Spyderco Paramilitary 2. You get their standard black and red box. On the inside, nothing fancy, just their education certificate of sorts, telling you a bit about the Spyderco Paramilitary 2. Go ahead and pause the screen if you want to read all of that. Nothing much, that's it. Nothing else in the box other than the knife itself. So to end this video, I would say that this is a very fantastic knife. I have loved owning this knife. This knife just does no wrong. You will definitely do no wrong by buying this knife. I don't think there's anything that you'd regret getting this knife. There are so many ways to open this knife. It's fun to play with, to open, close. There's also the spider flick. Yeah, you can do it that way. And of course there's the regular way to open it. But of course please be careful when you do all of this. This is after all a knife, this is not a toy. Yeah, I think that's about it. I'm gonna end my video here. Thanks for watching. If you watched this far, stay tuned for more videos, and you know, if you're thinking about getting the Paramilitary 2, don't think anymore, just get it. It is a fantastic knife. Here's a side-by-side shot before I end this video.